Do you keep your amputated penis after this operation?
If you had a cancer cutout, would you want to keep it? Honestly?
What a good answer.
It's time to talk.
Well, the last time this young man was on the program, we received an enormous response. 26-year-old Steve has embarked on an amazing life journey where he will transition himself from man to woman through the use of hormone treatment and surgery. The last time Steve was on the show, he explained why he had reached his decision to become a transgendered person, and his story certainly managed to move more than a few of you. But tonight we get down to the nitty-gritty. We ask all the questions you've always wondered but never had the chance to ask. Tonight there is no question too intimate or too ridiculous. We are here to clear up the confusion. Steve, welcome back to Time to Talk.
Thanks, Tim. How you doing, kiddo?
I'm really good. I suppose you were humming along there to our John Travolta, were you?
Yeah.
When there's nothing nice to say nothing at all. The last time we spoke, we agreed to work together to pinpoint the exact time where I should stop calling you Steve and start to call you Jasmine, which is the name that you will eventually adopt. So give us a sense about where you're up to now in your process, in the transition process. For example, have you began taking your hormone therapy?
There's quite a few pieces of evidence that show I have started hormones. I officially am getting headaches. My skin is breaking out. I'm getting moments of pain in my chest. I am having incredibly bizarre cravings for wasabi, and yesterday I took a wrong turn in my car and started to cry.
Is that right? So I hate to be, the one to say it, but you really are becoming a woman.
That is definitely true.
Getting some mood swings already. So explain what the hormone medication does. I mean, you've said there some of those side effects, but it's extremely powerful medication, and we need to make that clear. It's a serious process that you're going through, powerful medication. How is this going to help in your process?
Yeah, look, as a genetic male, I naturally produce quite a high level of testosterone. And testosterone has quite a few effects on the body, such as hair growth, skin texture, where I build extra muscle, more muscle than a genetic female would. I store my weight in certain places on my body, so it sort of determines quite a few things. So the first medication that I'll mention is what we refer to as an anti-androgen. Effectively, it's there to stop testosterone. So it's there to basically stop the body building that extra muscle mass, and it's there to stop the body growing the same level of hair that we do on our chest, on our arms, and on our legs, and it reduces the density of that.
So there's the medication to stop the testosterone, and are there complementary medications to do other things as well, are there?
There are indeed. So there's also a range of estrogen products that you can get, and I'm actually on two at the moment. One that I use as a gel that is absorbed through the skin, and I'm also on tablet form. And the point of the estrogen is to promote growth in the chest. So what a lot of people aren't aware of is that I will actually develop my chest myself. I will go through the same breast development that a girl in adolescence experiences. It will also mean that my body will naturally start to store fat in different parts. So I'm going to be the one soon asking, does my butt look big in this? Because it's about to expand.
Effectively, this is a second puberty for you, though, isn't it?
Oh, for sure. It literally is, and I mean, not many people have to go through that, and I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy because, as amazing as the final process is going to be, the journey going through it, I got to tell you, it's not one to look forward to. I mean, you got to think that my body is changing on a cellular level now, and small changes like the types of the oil that is now on. Like the oil that I'm getting on my face now is different because my skin texture is going to start changing, which is why I'm having the breakouts. And the chest growth is going to be at quite a fast pace in general, and so that's actually going to be quite a painful process. And I'm going to literally, my body is literally going to start changing shape as well. So I'm going to go through clumsy stages, etc., of thinking that my hips aren't quite as wide as they are because I'm storing extra fat down there.
Yeah, it's an amazing process. Now, we've spoken about the physical changes, and we're going to get back to that shortly, because there are a lot of questions that people have been asking me to ask you about that physical change that you're about to make. But I think it's important that we take a step back for a moment. It's for those people who didn't catch you last time on the program, the process that you're undergoing is extremely stringent. You've worked with a psychologist, for example, before you, and you have to be approved. Can you just take us very briefly through the process that leads up to you being even allowed to go through this transition?
Certainly. The standard requires that we approach a mental health care professional and spend around 3 to 6 months with a mental health care professional working through our gender identity before we are able to be diagnosed as having gender identity disorder, formerly known as gender dysphoria, and only when the mental health care professional provides us with that authority are we able to approach a general practitioner to provide us with the scripts for the medications, so for the anti-androgens and for the estrogens.
So I think it's really important for people to know that this isn't something that you snapped your fingers and decided to do. We spoke last time about the fact that this has been a lifelong journey for you, that you've felt this way throughout your entire life. So I think we've made that point well and truly abundantly clear tonight. But the question of the night, and here it is, Steve. Here's the question of the night. You can probably anticipate what it is. Most men have a great love affair with their penis. Okay, let's just face the facts. They do. So the big question of the night is, are you, during this process, will you have your penis removed?
Yes. Yes, I will. A lot of men think about that and they cringe and they say, I can't understand why a man would possibly want to have that done, why a man would possibly want to get that removed. My response to that is, neither do I. I don't understand why a man would want to get it done either, but that's the exact point. I'm a woman, so it's not something that I'm particularly fond of.
It's surplus to requirements.
Yes.
It's not part of who you are. And
this, put it rather elegantly.
And it goes hand in hand with the fact that is something that you never thought should have been there in the first place.
Correct.
Fair enough. Tell us a little bit about what the surgery involves. How is your body? Your body's going to change a lot through the hormone therapy. How will the body change through your surgery?
In terms of surgery, look, effectively, yes, it does get physically removed. There is an amputation involved. The surgery does create what, for all intents and purposes, looking outside, appears to be a perfectly natural vagina. The truth is that if a transgender person stands in line with genetic females, and a gynecologist looks at them straight on without having any prior knowledge, you, to look at it, can't tell the difference.
And does it work in the same way that a woman's genitals and reproductive system would? For example, will you be able to have sex after this?
Sexually, yes. As long as nothing goes wrong with surgery, the man-made vagina, so to speak, can be used for intercourse. And indeed, again, if nothing goes wrong with the surgery, there is there is stimulation there. There is pleasurable feelings. Many of us who go through it, unfortunately, don't get that, and that's just a risk that we take. So it's important to note there is no reproductive function whatsoever. No,
so I mean we're going to rule out menstruation, having babies, all that red line through all of those. You won't be able to function in that way, but you are running the risk of not being able to have pleasurable sexual intercourse after this.
Yes, I am. Important to remember again, though, is there a price too expensive to be yourself? And so it's a big cost. Not being able to have any form of sexual gratification for the rest of your life is a big cost, but I will hands down say that risk is worth it.
on the Facebook page that we have, someone has asked me to put to you, will you have breast implants also during the surgery?
That all depends on my actual development. A standard, and again, remembering that the medications react with everyone differently, so in terms of how fast and in terms of how big, there is no guarantee, there's no guideline as such. I would anticipate that there will be something relatively sizable there in about 6 months. You don't know how large you're going to become until 18 or 24 months. That's generally when you stop developing, and that's the point where you decide, okay, I'm going to have breast augmentation surgery now because I'm not comfortable with the size, or because I've had one grow slightly larger than the other, which is a risk with genetic females as well. But whatever the case may be, you generally wait as long as you can before you look at augmentation. Fingers crossed, I won't need it. And
so I just heard you mention that you're going to be on this hormone medication for a couple of years, are you?
For the rest of my life.
Oh, really?
The anti-androgens, the testosterone, I'll only be on those until surgery. I will, however, be on estrogen for the rest of my life.
Well, it makes sense now that I think of it, because your body's not going to be naturally producing it, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
The other question, and I've given you a heads up about this question that came through on Facebook, I am going to put it to you because I think, as I said at the beginning, this is about dispelling myths and misconceptions, clearing up confusion, and this person honestly meant this question with good intentions. They weren't trying to be a bit of a smarty pants. They want to know, when you have your amputation, when your penis is amputated, do you get to keep it in a bottle? Now, I know you've got a good sense of humour, and thank God for that. But I mean, it's a question I've been asked to put to you, and I thought, well, you didn't have any objections. So, do you keep your amputated penis after this operation?
If you had a cancer cutout, would you want to keep it? Honestly?
What a good answer. Well, yeah, some people might.
The answer to that is no.
Okay.
I'm detached from it enough to want it surgically removed. Therefore, I don't want anything to do with it.
No, you don't want it on the mantelpiece.
No.
Okay. Now, the ethics of dating. Right now, let's step forward a little bit. You have become a woman. You've had the surgery. The hormone medication is working as it should. You are living your life as a woman. Somebody's asked me a really interesting question to put to you about the ethics of dating, because you will effectively go from being a gay male to what I assume will be a heterosexual woman. Therefore, have you thought about the ethics of dating? I mean, if you went out on a date with a man, do you have to disclose to them? Or ethically, do you have... I know legally there's no obligation. Ethically, do you feel that you will have to disclose to them the procedure that you've been through?
Okay, I'm going to do two things here. One is that I've never been a gay male. So it's not like I'm going from being a gay male to a straight female. I've always actually been a heterosexual female. We can come back to that one.
Yeah, we will. No, good point.
Secondly, and I'm not offended by that, but I just wanted to put that one straight.
Sure.
The ethics that I follow are that if I'm going to have any form of physical relationship with another male, I would not feel comfortable if they did not know my history, be it for a casual sort of event, or be it for a long-term relationship. I have a personal choice in this, and my personal choice is that they have the right to know, and I would tell anyone about my history before getting to that point. I would not walk down the street and tell the person that makes my coffee that, oh, did you know I used to be a man? Like, I want to be able to live as a female, and it's not something that I would tell absolutely everyone I came across. It's only something that I feel I need to know. People who knew me as Steve will need to have obviously known, and people who I'll be physical with will definitely know.
In essence, meaningful relationships rely on honesty, don't they? So effectively there you're saying honesty is the best policy when it comes to somebody who means something to you, by the sound of it. Somebody asked me today, when I told them I was going to have you on the show, they started talking at length about how sad it is for gay men in this world that we live in, how sad it is for gay people and how tough it is on them. And this was all stemming from the fact that I told them I was going to be talking to you, who is a male becoming a woman. Clearly this person was completely confused. Do you find that it is common for people to confuse transgender with sexuality and blend those two? Because they're quite exclusive things, really, aren't they?
They certainly are. Sexuality and gender identity are two completely different things.
I've already confused it tonight with one